Makakai kena ohi I lawe Ko papalohi mai ka umakele Makakai kena yahi I lawe Papalohi mai ka umakele
Okay, it's Sarah and Daniel, right? My name's Troy. Nice to meet you guys. Feel free to adjust these if you want. You can move these around. They open and close like that. There's ones above you too. They twist open and close. Oh, a little chilly. Let's blow on full blast.
Aole nova e roa ame Ai uiwa ia no te tuahi
Hi, Andrew and Amanda, right? I'm Troy. Nice to meet you.
Aole nova e roa ame Ai uiwa ia no te tuahi
Hi, Paul and Jeannie, right? Hi, I'm Troy. A couple quick things before we go. Looks like you're all together, right? Where y'all from? Philadelphia. I haven't been there yet. I grew up in California. I just went more west. Welcome to Maui, folks. They showed you all the safety video, right? Good. Safety briefing cards of that information. That's in the pocket here. See back behind me and right in front of you there. If you didn't like your breakfast, put it in one of the Aloha bags. It's a nice morning. I don't think you'll need those. We'll stay where they are, though. And if you guys want to ask me any questions, please just write them down for me. Makes it easier. I'm doing a lot of radio stuff. It looks like I'm talking to myself. Just enjoy the music. And I'll be back with you. I get to pick out the soundtrack, too. Hope you guys like that. Well, thank you. You just tell me how you want it. Alright, guys. So I'll be talking to Tower when we're in the airspace here, which is like the first 5 minutes, and then in the middle, because we're going to go to the east side first, and then cross back over to the west. And then I'll let you know when I'm on the radio, because I can point things out for you in between the radio stuff. But feel free to tap me on the shoulder if you need to get my attention for anything, vents, volume, anything like that. So, you guys have any questions before we go? Are we all set? All right. Anybody been on a helicopter before? Some of you, not all of you. It's like a magic carpet ride. It's perfect balance then. So we'll be off the ground shortly. Enjoy the music. Enjoy the takeoff. Of course, take all the pictures you like. There's vents above you in the back. Feel free to adjust those.
Aina ia mai ana ka kuana Makakai kena ohi I love
All right, guys, here we go. Archer, good morning.
I wanna reach out and touch the flame where the streets have no name. I wanna feel sunlight on my face. I see the dust cloud disappear without a trace. I wanna take shelter in the poison rain where the streets have no name.
Alright, I'm done on the radio for now. How are y'all doing? Good. Heard you guys having a good time. Welcome to the office. We're 2,000 feet above sea level here. You can see the south coast down to the right. You get perspective from here. You got all the sugar cane below us, 30,000 acres of it on Maui right now. Sugar cane growing has been in Hawaii since 1835. It's the end of an era, though. They just announced this is the last year of sugar cane. It's been exclusively Maui for the last 20 years or so. And they just said in January that this is the last year. They can't make enough money on it. And so after December, there won't be any more sugar. It's a huge portion of Maui, and nobody really knows what's going to happen to all this land. All we know is you can come back next year and things will look a lot different. I think it'll just be kind of a slow expansion of the surrounding towns. I live right over here in Pukalani. It's really actually not that far, about a 20-minute drive to the heliport. And so I think we'll just see an expansion of that on the edges down from Kihei. Kihei was one of the largest growing cities in the U.S. for several years recently, and I think that'll start back up. That's the first town down there to the right. It's kind of hard to get a sense of our speed and the size here, but we're traveling about 75 knots, which is around 90 miles per hour, and we're climbing 800 feet every minute. So almost 4,000 feet now, climbing up toward Haleakala. In East Maui, the high point of Maui is 10,023 feet above sea level.
I go there with you. It's all I can do.
So Haleakala, the name of the mountain, is a combination of Hawaiian words. It means house of the sun. Initially people lived in the valley, so they always watched the sun rise out of the east. Looked like it was coming out of the mountain. According to the legend, the sun used to be very lazy. So the days were short, nights were long, the sun would sleep all the time, people had a hard time staying warm and growing food. They prayed to their demigod, which was named Maui. And we obviously got the island named after him because he helped out the people by climbing all the way up to the house of the sun. And after this epic duel, he captured the sun. He made a deal. He said, before I release you, you have to be less lazy, at least half the time. You can be lazy in the wintertime. So that's the deal Maui made with the sun, and according to Hawaiians, that's why the days are longer in the summer. That's the time the sun agreed to come out more often. So Haleakala is considered a dormant volcano. The last eruption was 1790, approximately, and they don't expect it to erupt again. I don't think they know as much about that as they think they do, but everything northwest of us is extinct. Every part of Hawaii from here northwest. And on the southeast of us, the Big Island is 26 miles away. That's the only island with active volcanoes. This is really unique, kind of in between. The entire side of the island is pretty new. It started as an underwater volcano, and it's very recent. They don't have such deep valleys here. They haven't had a long time to erode. The ridgeline we're about to cross is called the rift zone. That rift zone is a chain of eruptions. Each hilltop shape is a volcanic lava flow. Almost 8,000 feet above sea level. Temperature's dropping. It's 12 degrees Celsius outside. That's mid-50s Fahrenheit. And over the ridgeline, you can see the Big Island. That's Mauna Loa coming into view. And then you might be able to see Mauna Kea to the left of it. It's usually better visibility from up here. A little bit of haze today. That's from the actual volcanic ash that's blowing over here from the Big Island. Even though we don't have it coming out of Haleakala, we're so close to the active volcanoes. That happens pretty regularly. That's why you can't see the shoreline of it. It kind of fades away down by the sea level. But anyway, we're going to cross this ridgeline and try to look into the crater from the south side. It's usually where it's most clear. Like I said, these cinder cones, shield volcanoes is another name, or the Hawaiian name is pu'u for these lava flows. Sometimes, some of them you'll see little divots in them because they are little craters. Some of them are pretty old, but they're all within 1 million years or so, which is not long geologically. Call that Science City. They do observation of satellites from up there. They monitor satellites. They even monitor the movement of these islands very precisely. They can tell we're all moving 4 inches every year to the northwest. All of Hawaii is part of the same tectonic plate. temperatures and thin air up here, you can hike and camp in Haleakala. This is the crater, 40 square miles, and there's 40 miles of hiking trails. You can see little cinder cones in here. They're more pronounced because they're newer. 7 eruptions, they say, in the last 1,000 years. Cruise along for a couple minutes on the left and then turn it around and share the view on the right.
If you love somebody, better tell them why they're here, 'cause they just may run away from you. You'll never know quite when, well, then again it just depends on how long it takes.
That's red for the same reason Mars is red. That is oxidized iron, literally rust.
I've had the deepest river, you can have it all, but now keep moving. I'll take it in, but don't look down. 'Cause I'm on top of the world, eh? I'm on top of the world, eh? Been waiting on this for a while now. Paying my dues to the dirt. I've been waiting to smile, eh? To hold it in for a while, eh? Take you with me if I can. Been dreaming of this since a child. I'm on top of the world. I've tried to cut these corners, try to take the easy way.
Let's have one more picture on the left. I'll turn around and get on the right side.
I could've gave up then, but then again I couldn't have, 'cause I've traveled all this way for something. I take it in, but don't look down. 'Cause I'm on top of the world, eh? I'm on top of the world, eh? Been waiting on this for a while now. Paying my dues to the dirt. I've been waiting to smile, eh? To hold it in for a while, eh? Take you with me if I can. Been dreaming of this since a child. I'm on top of the world. 'Cause I'm on top of the world, eh? I'm on top of the world, eh? Been waiting on this for a while now. Paying my dues to the dirt. I've been waiting to smile, eh? To hold it in for a while, eh? Take you with me if I can. Been dreaming of this since a child. And I know it's hard when you're falling down and it's a long way up and you make the ground, but get up now, get up, get up now. And I know it's hard when you're falling down and it's a long way up and you make the ground, but get up now, get up, get up now. 'Cause I'm on top of the world, eh? I'm on top of the world, eh? Waiting on this for a while now. Paying my dues to the earth. I've been waiting to know it's time to hold me in for a while, eh? Take you with me if I can. Keep living in this behind. I'm on top of the world.
Alright, so that was Haleakala. We're going to come down on this side of the mountain around toward Hana and hopefully find some waterfalls down here. There's some rain in the rainforest. That's pretty common. That's where the waterfalls come from anyway. We're moving toward the windward side of the island, which means that's where all the trade winds come in. And that's where all the moist air comes, because all the moisture in the air comes from the ocean. That's why it's kind of dry below us, and we're kind of moving through that threshold right now. Big Island's going to fade away as we come down below the clouds. The valley we're passing over here is called the Kaupo Gap. This gap from the crater all the way down to the shoreline. It was a deeper valley long ago, but it got filled with lava. This lava flow hardened hundreds of years ago, probably before the 1790 lava flow. So they don't know exactly when that was. And now there's a small town down here called Kaupo, down by the coastline. And it's pretty far away from town. No matter which way you drove around the mountain, if you drive out here, it takes you a few hours. So This will be one of the last places to be built up. It's old school countryside down here. We'll get closer to the rainforest. Pretty soon you'll see individual trees rather than a big splotch of green. On the descent, you'll feel pressure in your ears. Y'all know how to pop your ears. Keep it comfortable. Let me know if I'm going down too fast. Some action in the Maui Valley this morning. Let's get a closer look. All this rain brought the waterfalls back. These haven't been flowing for a while. How's the ears doing? You guys all good? All right. That's flowing like that. It's the biggest set of waterfalls out here. It's only accessible by helicopter. Love that one. Maui July it's spelled. This rainforest is kept so green by the rain that we get quite often. And a lot of times, even though it's not raining, the water's flowing underground. And you'll see little glimpses of it, water flowing here, because it's always flowing. And certain places, like the valley back there, it gets exposed and pours down right in front of us. There's a couple more places up ahead like this. They say 80% of Maui is only accessible by helicopter. Start to see why. This one's called Maui Falls. Now we're about to get back to civilization. Some places you can actually drive to. Hana is right up ahead. Hana is a very small town though. Only 1,600 people. There's even some water over the old lava flows below us. Really a lot of rain. Charles Lindbergh is buried down in Hana in what is called an undisclosed location, some people say. He really wanted to be buried in Hana. He actually, on Maui specifically, he was in New York, really, really sick last few days of his life. He wanted to be sent out here. And at the time, Hana was, I guess, a larger portion of what was Maui. Now that Maui built up over by the airport and stuff. But he's out here somewhere between Hana and Kipahulu, which is a valley we just passed. These cinder cones, these are the same thing as the ones in the crater. They're just below the cloud line. They have rainforest growing over them, but this is all part of the old volcano. We'll go right through the Hana town and get offshore a little bit on our way back to the west. One of the busiest parts of Hana is down by the harbor there. Actually, like 3 rows of houses. The Hana Highway is this main road that goes through here by the school, and it'll be right underneath us. You can see it kind of curving back through the rainforest. It's a very volcanic shoreline out here, all this black lava rock, and this lava rock in some places gets eroded all the way into black sand. It's hard to recognize the difference from up here because it's the same material, but there is a black sand beach down to the right, the Wainapa State Park, that little cove right here. Closer to the coastline as we come down to the west. Small Hana Airport underneath us, we're passing by. One airplane there, pretty typical. This is considered a Hawaiian ruins, this little patch right here. It's 3 acres. It's a place of worship for Chief Pi'ilani of Maui in the 1700s. The full name is the Pi'ilani Hale Heiau. Already out of Hana. This is a nice town called Nahiku. Still pretty far away from town. Take a few hours to drive out this way. We're going to come back on shore and cross some of the road to Hana. See a few more waterfalls next to it. So there's some little waterfalls in here. They've kind of hid themselves in the valleys that they've created over the years. You doing okay? Climb up a little bit. They call this area the Wailuas. Means many waters in Hawaiian. You guys all having a good time so far? Alright. Here's the road to Hana. Right in here. 600 curves and 54 bridges between Kahului and Hana. That's why it takes hours to get out here. Get underneath and get a closer look. See the bottom of it. Look down as I turn. Very beautiful morning. We're going to be going back toward Kahului. So a few more miles of rainforest and we'll be back in town, heading to West Maui from here. This is one of the parts of the island where it rains the most, with the most waterfalls. And because of that, they use this area to collect water for the irrigation that goes into the sugarcane fields. Sugarcane like we were flying over when we first left the airport. Back in the 1800s, they dug out most of those irrigation channels, and back then they didn't have helicopters or GPS, so they had to mark the irrigation channels somehow. And they're really hard to see, except for right here. You can see the waterfalls are going into the channels. You see the little line at the top of the valley here. That's an irrigation line. This is called the Honolulu Valley. And when it's raining a little less, these waterfalls on top, they'll look like they just disappear because they go into the irrigation. Anyway, they had to come out here and monitor and maintain the irrigation channels. They have to mark them with usually eucalyptus trees they use. Tall eucalyptus is taller than most of the other stuff in the native rainforest. back in the 1800s. There's a bunch of immigrants, mainly from China, amongst other places in the world, getting paid about 5 cents a day. They got these channels. That was much before tourism in Hawaii. Here they are. See this eucalyptus line? Down at the base of it, you see a white pipeline. It's the irrigation. Okay, so now we're back almost over Makawao, which is the other side of Pukalani. There's a sugarcane. We're going to go, I think they'll have us go over the top of the airport on our way to the west. We'll be on the radio a minute. We'll cut across the water there by Kahului and Wailuku, biggest cities on Maui.
Against me, and gravity wants to bring me down. Oh, I'll never know what makes this man with all the love that his heart can stand. Dream of ways to throw it all away. Whoa, whoa. Gravity is working against me, and gravity wants to bring me down. Twice as much ain't twice as good, and can't sustain like one half could. It's wanting more that's gonna send me to my knees. Twice as much ain't twice as good, and can't sustain like one half could. It's wanting more, Nothing's gonna send me to my knees. Oh, gravity, stay the hell away from me. Oh, gravity has taken better men than me. How can that be? Just keep me where the light is. Just keep me where the light is. Just keep me where the light is. Come on, keep me where the light is. Come on, keep me where the light is. Come on, keep me where the light is.
Alright, like I thought there, I'm going to go right over the top here. We'll come offshore over Kanaha Beach. This is a kite surf and windsurf spot when it gets windy. Not too much right now, but a nice view of the reef below us. Current population of Maui is 145,000. And these are the biggest cities. A lot smaller than all the sugar cane, so it's going to be real interesting what all happens with that. Kind of see how the whole city is focused around the harbor. We get 90% of our supplies from off island. Up behind the town right here, you can see the crops. Those are macadamia nuts. They stopped being commercially harvested about 10 years ago when the property was bought by a private party, and nobody really knows what he's going to do with it. It's just stayed that way since. They only sell macadamia nuts on the Big Island now. Like I was saying, West Maui is an extinct volcano. You kind of see evidence of that in these cliffs. They start coming up to about 500 feet. You can see all the layers, horizontal layers inside the cliffs are volcanic eruptions built up this island. According to legend, there was a king of Maui in the 1700s who used to jump off the cliffs every morning. He probably had that house. King Kahekili of Maui. They say he was proving his power to his people. King Kahekili's Leap. It was a pretty well-known story. This road got named after him. There's only one main road on this side. Highway 340, the Kahekili Highway. Most of West Maui is the protected West Maui Forest Reserve. This section of the island, West Maui, is only about 25% of the landmass, but there's a lot more valleys, like I was mentioning earlier. Since it's older, it's had longer for these valleys to get carved out.
Fatal attraction is holding me fast. How can I escape its irresistible grasp? Can't keep my eyes from the circling sky. Tongue-tied and twisted, just an earthbound gifted eye.
From this side, you can see the other islands in Maui County, pretty close together. These are only about 10 miles away, as opposed to Big Island was 26. Molokai is to the right, and way out in front is Lanai.
Unneeded warnings. I thought of everything. No navigator to find my way home. Unlaid and empty and turned to stone. Sole intention was learning to fly. Condition grounded, but determined to try.
You guys aren't staying on this side, are you? Where at? The Weston Villas. Is that north of Black Rock? Okay. So it would be south of the airport then? Oh, West Maui Airport? I think I have an idea. You'll have to help me out a little bit. Is it near the construction? Down there, by the green roofs? All right. Cruise by. Get you guys a picture of your spot.
My grubby hand, the vague trail in the empty air. Across the clouds, I see my shadow fly.
I think it's the green roofs. Is that the spot? Or is it next to that?
I dream unthreatened by the morning light.
We'll just do a little shoreline pass here. Just get some pictures.
Can't keep my mind from the circling sky. Tongue-tied and twisted, just an earthbound gifted eye.
Beautiful coral reef over here too. You guys go snorkeling yet? Beautiful. Good conditions lately too.
Who's to say what's impossible will they forget? This world keeps spinning and with each new day I can feel a change in everything. And as the surface...
Lanai is the one that Larry Ellison owns. He's the CEO of Oracle Software Company. They say he owns 98% of the land out there.
And as my mind begins to spread its wings, there's no stopping curiosity. I wanna turn the whole thing upside down.
How about the cliff diving in Black Rock? That's dangerous. Let somebody else go first.
This love I find with everyone. We'll sing and dance to Mother Nature's songs. I don't want this feeling to go away.
Alright, we'll come up behind Lahaina and see if we can probably make it through the valleys here on the other side of West Maui.
Who's to say I can't do everything, well I can try. And as I roll along I begin to find things aren't always just what...
So the smokestack in the middle of Lahaina, that was for the old Pioneer Mill Company. There was sugar all around Lahaina, and that's all been moved to the valley. It was about 20 years ago moved to the valley, and like I said, now that's over. The only active agriculture anymore is back there, the coffee bean. That dark green, that's all coffee. Maui coffee does pretty well, actually.
This world keeps spinning and there's no...
Part of the reason is this is one of the only places in the world you can grow coffee. Coffee's real picky. It only grows within a couple hundred miles of the equator. They call it the coffee belt.
Upside down. Who's to say what's impossible and can't be found? I don't want this feeling to go away. Please don't go away. Please don't go away. Please don't go away.
Behind a high school, they do a fun graduation thing. They go up to the Big L and light it on fire when they graduate in May. So it won't change to a 17 until they do that again next year. Alright, we're going to head home from here through West Maui. Now, this has a crater too. It's just heavily eroded back here. You see a bowl shape opening up underneath us. It's been eroding for millions of years. Kind of hard to recognize as a crater, but it is.
pictures of my trips, raise up and dance with me. Now and forever,
Alright, coming out of the Iao Valley to Wailuku. I'll be back shortly. I'm going to be on the radio again. Alright, come back over the big cities, landing this time. Thank you very much for joining me. Hope you guys had a good time. Everybody's smiling, that's what I like to see. I'll be talking to the tower and the final will be back in a couple minutes. Welcome back. Please do not open the doors. You can unbuckle and take the headsets off now. Thanks again.